They did play very well, but we're ready with the picks and bans for Game 2, CLG versus Spacestation. And
you're trying to see a Game 2 again?
Did I say Game 2?
We can get the replay.
Game 3 is ready between CLG and Spacestation. You know what? They just run the picks and bans back. They're so similar that I assume we just use the Game 2 picks and bans.
It might as well be.
They just use those picks and bans
Third time's
again.
the charm?
Yeah. No, Spacestation can't run the same comp. There's no world, right? They got to do something different. There's no world where they run the same comp.
Well, they're going to have to do something different whether they wanted to or not, because I don't think that they're going to get that Athena yet again, as Jeff will be forced to play something else in his final match.
But Taco, I got to ask you, I mean, that was not a close game, the Game 1. That's fair to say, right? And you run the same thing back in Game 2, and then you win. How are you feeling for Spacestation coming here now into Game 3?
If I'm Spacestation, I'm feeling on top of the world right now. Like,
that's crazy.
Wow, this actually worked. And that's what I'm thinking, because I was looking at Spacestation as they were drafting everything, and I was like, wow, you guys are really doing this right here, right now, man.
This is how you dig your grave, and then they played it so well. So, I mean, apparently it worked out just fine. CLG, though, select themselves the Camazotz. I believe it's been CLG themselves who have banned this Camazotz pick out the other 2 games. So they're the ones really that have been prioritizing this Camazotz. Now they select it for themselves. And Baskin yet again selecting this Ullr. Maybe not guaranteed, but he's played it twice in a row. I wouldn't be surprised if he played it again. This time, though, they're adding over the Soul. I love them taking the Soul for themselves.
And make sure to take away, I think, what might have been a key component for CLG here, because
yeah.
Soul having that flexibility option, Hurriwind already having looked fantastic on this Soul one time. Best to not let him get it back again. And I think more importantly, it's just going to provide that ambiguity where you're not certain if this is going to be BaRRaCCuDDa on the Ullr for once and Baskin on a mage, or vice versa. We've been seeing Baskin running the Ullr in the mid lane, and I do personally believe that he has a little bit of an easier time there as opposed to Duo, because he can establish so much laning control pressure. But I still think that Baskin is fantastic on mages, and I love seeing him pilot mages.
Serqet going to be the next pick for Spacestation. Another ban that we've seen CLG make in the first 2 games, I believe, but this time Spacestation going to be able to grab it for themselves. The Fafnir Hachiman going to come in for CLG, but this time they won't have that mage ADC. I wonder if they might pick up something like a Chronos to try and simulate having that soul, or if they're just going to go with the Hachiman Fafnir and run a traditional mage. But I love this. After the game Aquarius just had, get that Artio out of there. CLG banning it away.
Respect.
Oh,
I think that's the important thing to notice here. Aquarius is certainly not going to be allowed to play this Artio. No. And Finch, what are you expecting? I want to see into the mind.
You want to know what Finch is expecting he's going to be next year? I got 1 pick right last time, and Taco's putting me on the spot. I think they should ban away another warrior. I think that's the right call here, or perhaps ban away. There you go. I called it, another warrior. I'll take that. That counts.
I don't know if production tried to do you a solid one.
It was
there.
too late. They didn't tell me in time.
Late. It was on the tip of the tongue.
I called warrior before it happened. I'll take that. I'll take that W, as Geb is going to be the next selection for Spacestation. That was my other thought. Another warrior, another guardian. Geb certainly is a strong pick here, and we know how well JeffHindla can play this one, so he'll add that to his coffer. Spacestation, on the other hand, took an eye towards the mid lane. Whoa, and the hell is coming out from CLG. Odin is still available. I bet they could certainly flex into an Odin, could Spacestation.
They probably could, but first and foremost, CLG's got to lock away the Cocolan and finish rounding out their draft. And this hell is such a finicky pick here.
Sure.
Really putting everything out on the line right now. CLG opting for this hell in the 4th pick slot. And you're right, Finch, there is an Odin available, and Odin's going to get locked away. And I am always up for some hell gameplay. I think that she can be a really fun god to witness, because I think sometimes it's just insane and also hilarious watching hell survive through just about everything.
It's crazy, yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to get the opportunity to see that here today. Space Station probably just incredibly happy that they're able to secure this Odin.
Yeah, hell feels like the kind of god where you win in 40 minutes or you lose in like 24 minutes. You know, it's like that kind of god, but it's just rough when you play that Odin. I have been informed, though, and you can already hear see Taco chuckling here, I've been informed that it is mandatory that Taco do a Hoi
My
impersonation.
voice can't even go deep enough for this. It sounds like I'm hard stuck
Taco,
at like
the floor is
10-year-old
yours.
boy puberty
Here's
voice
what you
already.
do. Taco, here's what you do. Hoi. And then you just do your best.
I can't hit that.
It's easy. Taco, we can't. You're going to leave us here on the desk? Give us a Hoi.
Taco, you acting like you give it a Hoi. No, I'm not doing Hoi, you nerds. My voice doesn't go deep enough for this. I'm hard stuck puberty voice here for a 10-year-old. People tell me all the time that I'm a dude, and they're probably right. You hear this. There's no Hoi coming out here, folks.
All I got to say is,
wow.
Finch, you're trash.
Horrible Houyi impression. What an embarrassment. Tom, for all the work you put in, even though it's not as good as mine, clearly better than Finch's, and it is even close.
That's what I'm saying.
It's miles apart.
Miles apart.
Embarrassment by Finch. Come on, dude.
Kind of the opposite of the game that we've got here. Everything neck and neck between CLGaming and their opposition Spacestation. Game number 1 went CLG. Game number 2 went SSG. This time around, I ask you the question, Mixer Chat. Who's going to take us home in game number 3 here? And my answer? I don't even know, man.
Isn't that always your answer? Every time you're like, my answer? I don't know. You've got to decide. I'm
Well,
calling you out. I'm calling you out.
That's like
hard
my
right here.
dramatic shtick.
I know, but you got to find a new one, my guy. You got to at least give the illusion that there might be a different answer. You know, if the answer is the same every time that you don't know, then what's even the point of the question?
My answer? Game 3. The graphic was there. It is.
Very, very dramatic, Tom.
Damn it.
Look, you might look at these compositions and go, oh, Odin into hell. Spacestation win. Nice and easy. But the rest of CLG's draft actually works very well at countering the Odin, or at least not worrying about the Odin quite as much. So CLG kind of build in the safety valve of, yeah, Hurriwind, sorry, buddy, you might be in some trouble, but the rest of us, we're going to be at least okay up against this Odin selection. The only one that's got to worry about it otherwise is Snoopy, but I expect that Jigz will pick up a Phantom come level 12. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if even Hurriwind got himself a Phantom at level 12, but we'll probably want that Aegis up against Last Breath from andinster.
Exactly. Problem is andinster also part of this equation. I think if Aquarius is the lone variable, the hell can kind of wiggle around and get out of trouble. But Andy also being here, that Last Breath going to cut down the healing. Not really a huge fan. And let me say this. I love Hell Mid. I think Hell Mid has been a largely ignored topic of conversation. I think that this character, independent of healing, is very strong. The damage she puts out is competitive with the other mages. There's a ton that I love about this selection. I don't love it into the world of, I don't know, Odin was last pick. I don't love it into the world of Odin and Serqet.
Yeah, risky, to say the least, for CLG, but I agree with you. I think Hell is underutilized right now. Her damage is phenomenal.
So big.
In the mid game, and you're not, it's not like before where in the mid lane you were really far behind all the time. Now you're ahead a lot of the time, or even at worst, and so you can really keep yourself alive much better with your own damage and healing.
Also, early game, surprisingly, Hell kind of steps up. fineokay here, just looking at his own blue buff here, or looking at the enemy blue buff rather, but the taunt off the mark, so that won't be the shot here. But surprisingly enough, Hell early game is also kind of powerful, although not when she gets scissored by an Ullr and a Serqet right there. Just one more shot will do it. First blood going to Baskin. Ouch, bud.
That's the problem, I think. It's not Hell in particular, but it's you. I don't know that you can really pick a god that can get jumped on easily against Baskin's Ullr mid. See, this is the problem when you play against SSG, is you can play very well through the first few games and look great and do a bunch of really good stuff, and then sometimes you just get crushed by Baskin.
You get Baskin.
Right. You just get crushed by Baskin or Andy or both, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And now CLG's backs are against the wall early on. Now, it's not horrible for them. I mean, this isn't previous seasons, and you can play aggressive still.
No.
But now,
no.
This is the nightmare.
Oh, no. Okay. No, it's not. It's not good enough. Oh, no. Oh, pobrecito.
This gets the big ol' stamp of yikes from me early on.
Oh, no.
CLG is in a lot of trouble.
And let it be known that, I mean, it's not the Hell pick. That's Hurriwind's positioning, unfortunately.
No, if that's Raw, if that's Zeus,
Poseidon.
Poseidon's got the movement speed, but you're right. I mean, anyone that doesn't have a chance to get away
Not
very easily.
Agni, and Scylla probably doesn't have the dash at level 2.
Right, Raijin. Like, these are guys that have a chance, but that's why I think that this Ullr pick for Baskin is so strong, because he will play aggressive probably more than any other mid laner in the league, and he still has that solo lane mentality where he just wants to get in there and mix it up early on, and you have to be prepared for that. And I just don't know that Hell's equipped to do so.
That blink taunt is so scary. Hell's going to be able to cleanse that later on. Right now, didn't really have the levels. Andy trying to make the play on Homiefe, finds the taunt. Zigzag connects with 1/3 of it. Damage not coming out, won't find the basic after the fact. So Homiefe kind of fine here, hanging out in the solo lane.
Aquarius was expecting Homie to juke backwards a little bit maybe, or just off the mark. You kind of want to force Homie to juke backwards in that situation so that he'd be right in front of andinster. So just a little bit off the mark. It probably could have been another kill for Spacestation if Aquarius' bird bomb lands onto Homie. But if, this is scary for CLG, but Hell is the comeback queen, right? She does so much, even when behind in damage and in healing, that I don't think CLG's out of this by any stretch. Especially when you consider that it's Homiezots,
Right.
Camazotz for Homie is his signature pick in my mind, alongside the Thor. So
he was the first person to bring Camazotz out successfully, I think.
Yes, without a doubt in my mind. So not all doom and gloom, but certainly not where counter logic would like to be.
Sure. Yeah, Hurriwind down about a full level from Baskin, just barely shy of level 5 here. Of course, Hell no ultimate, so not going to drastically change the character once this wave falls down. But he'll get stunned out, able to heal. But again, the blink in. This time, the last breath is there. Oh, with the hail of arrows. Still not going to be enough, but
close. Close. Yeah. And if Baskin decides to throw that bladed arrow at Hurriwind, or, if instead the hail of arrows onto Homie, he might have found one of those kills, just end up splitting his DPS a little bit too much, though probably wouldn't have been enough to bring down Homie with the 3. Hurriwind may have been out of range as well.
It's the shred of experience for me here. I mean, Hurriwind, gets not killed. Still has to go back to base. Loses, looks like 3 melee minions. And just going to get the archers here.
And still only level 4. Baskin's now level 7. So a 2.5 level lead at the very worst for Baskin. And by the way, he's already finished Transcendence, has almost 30 stacks on it, and Boots 2. Hurriwind has Boots 2.
Yeah.
And the Warlock Staff 1.
Yeah, Baskin finished the Transcendence at 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
That's a good way to win a game.
That's absurd. A lot of what we were talking about, the positive side of Hell, is also true for Baskin on this Ullr. You think that these characters are very different, well, because they are, but the thing that they do have in common is the stance switch. So you have those extra abilities in the early game that make them really, really powerful and tough to fight. I mean, Baskin's the one that got ahead, and now he's launching off with it. Could have easily happened the other way, but I think the big thing for Spacestation was Andy on the Serqet. Homiefe doesn't have that lockdown that andinster has with the Camazotz, so Baskin and Andy able to make plays like this all day.
Beads forced there by Homie, still does half his HP, and this should be enough to let Spacestation get those XP harpies, or it could be Andy, considering the dive, still lurking around the back, has the blink available.
Ping's coming out. It's still going to be a couple of seconds, but he does have the ambush, so he will wait out for those XP camps. Steal him right in front of the jungler's face. Nice confidence play from andinster right there.
Still zoning away.
Blink's good now.
Blink has available. And remember, no beads for Hurriwind still for 30 seconds either. That's why Spacestation's so willing to aggress here and just let Hurriwind waste away basically underneath that tower.
Good presence from Jigz. It's very important that Hurriwind's not the only person here. Plus, this also allows Snoopy to get some solo farm. He's sort of they're out if Hurriwind just gets repeatedly stepped on. 6 minutes and 45 seconds in, and CLGaming already threatening the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Baskin has had a time in this mid lane so far against Hurriwind's Hell pick, but we've seen more Hell, I think, on the console side of things, and we really got to see what happens when Hell starts to dominate a meta and how players react. And unlike some of these other really scary gods like Hebo and stuff, you can't just keep her down in the in the early game. Some of those characters you beat up 4 or 5 times and then you walk away and they're fine. This character comes back repeatedly throughout the game.
It's so hard to keep a hell down, and that's why even with this early lead, you can't say it's over. Jigz in tons of trouble in the mid lane. Was he able to jump out of that last breath? He was. Didn't get stunned quite in time. Just a half second too late from andinster. Couldn't follow up off that stun, so Jigz escapes, but it's all in the name of stealing away farm again from Hurriwind.
And this is where it becomes troublesome. If you kill Hurriwind a lot and you deny him his mid lane, you kill his tower, well, guess what? After his tower, he's going to have an easier time farming and he'll catch up. But if you repeatedly push him down and then use that pressure to invade the jungle, not only are you hurting Hurriwind, but you're also sending a ripple effect towards the enemy jungler as well. That's really what you want to see at a Spacestation Gaming if you're a fan of them. Kill Hurriwind all you want, but what do you find after the fact? That's what I'm focused on, because that's what will get Spacestation Gaming to win.
And I like where Homie's been kind of invading on that right-hand side as well.
Just repeatedly going for the opposition's jungle and making sure that nobody could really look for it. Right here, going to be able to pick up his XP camp last time around, stolen by andinster.
And you want Homie to kind of hang in that right side and farm up the jungle, because Hurriwind's not allowed to leave the lane at this point, because if he walks into the jungle, he probably dies.
Yeah.
So he's relegated to the mid lane. So let Homie solo farm that up. Jigz is here to protect, and that keeps Snoopy free to solo farm on the left.
Again, Spacestation Gaming have a ton of pressure here, so they're going to look for the Gold Fury. Half HP on the objective so far. But again, more about the fight. Doesn't have that gold lead over the rest of the team, though. Really? The only separation here is between the mid laners. Everybody else relatively even. So Spacestation Gaming have to double check that one, I think. And they will. They'll walk away.
Just don't have the ward vision guaranteed either. They've got good wards aggressively on that left side of the map, but they aren't sentries. They're regular wards. So you don't know if CLG, how much information CLG has. Spacestation did have a sentry on the Gold Fury, so a little surprised that they don't commit a little bit harder, but Jeff took about half his HP from all of that, from the damage from the Gold Fury. So
Yeesh, look at all of that vision.
yeah, he's able to probably a little bit worried about the aggression potential from CLG.
Yeah, again, this is everybody sees the ripple effects of these kills on the Hurriwind, and so Spacestation Gaming make sure to ward the enemy jungle. Counterlogic Gaming make sure we know they're going to go for gold. This is no secret here.
I love this switch up from Hurriwind. So often we see players planning to go for Warlock staff, fall behind, and say, well, I already went for it. I got to go for it. No, Hurry knows that he needs power, and he needs it fast, and survivability even, and Rod of Asclepius will give him that. It also is just great with his character as is.
There's the blink on top of Jigz. The last breath will go for it. The follow-up from the team. There's the control. And Andy finds the basic attack to cut down the support. Jigz will sit out, his first death of the contest. He's out for another 15.
Baskin still here, but fineokay making the rotation in. Great choice there by Baskin to jump over the wall instead of away. Andy's here, no ultimate, no blink. Remember, he just used that on Jigz. So Spacestation get the one kill, but not a whole lot afterwards.
If Homiefe lands 4 inches shorter, right, closer to that jungle entrance, that's an all-in from andinster. The all-in from Spacestation Gaming on the objective. And what gets started ends as quickly as it began. Spacestation Gaming pick up the Gold Fury, and that's the beginning of their lead. 3,000. We're just shy of it above CLG.
This is exactly how you draw it up, and now Hurriwind caught in the cage. This is exactly how you draw it up, as I was saying, against a hell, is that you kill her early, you kill her again early, you even kill her again early, and then you just get objectives on the left side of the map because of it.
Baskin with the turnaround play and the Goomba stomp. The 1v2 from Mr. Kim here. Baskin out of control.
Insane. And I know I can see the chat already. Oh, Ullr so OP. And yeah, Ullr is good, but man, you give any god a lead like this, you've got potential to make plays like Baskin just did.
And that's what I meant. I think it was in game number 1, talking about giving the tools to Baskin. Such an open-ended kit Ullr has that he's able to go ahead and you don't have to have your abilities set up in a row. We always talk about the stun into the 1 and the 3. Well, Baskin tosses the Hail of Arrows earlier, uses the Bladed Arrow, and then uses his jump to confirm the kill. The creativity that Baskin has here can use whatever abilities he wants, and the character lends himself to that. I really have loved. It's funny. I don't like Baskin on the other hunters. I just want to see him on mages and the Ullr.
The on her as well works at times, but
yes, I honestly just forgot about that, and I'll take that too.
Snoopy in some trouble here, but the ultimate will make sure that Andy can't close the gap and use the auto attack to detonate those poisons. So Snoopy will stay safe and use the healing from Hurriwind to stick around and try and defend this tier 2.
Yeah, look at that. Good healing already. Back up to full, basically. A little bit of lifesteal, a little bit of healing from Hurriwind. That combination is nice and good. fineokay right-hand side could be in trouble. If Aquarius wants to chase, and he will, he's going to blink out over there, jump on top, a little jump away. fineokay has to go all the way home, likely lose his tower. Except the focus is on the mid lane, so never mind. CLG take care of the tier 1, Spacestation take care of the tier 1 in that middle lane. 6-0. 4,200 in the lead is SSG.
For as dominant as CLG looked in game 1, now Spacestation look as dominant here in game 3. And the problem is really the XP department. I mean, the gold is scary enough as it is, but being 4 levels down in mid is horrifying. Now, the good news, if you're rooting for CLG, is that almost all of that experience difference is in the mid lane.
Exactly.
Bear's got a slight lead as well, but you really just have to worry about that mid lane. If they can get a pick on a Baskin, catch him being over-aggressive, they've got a chance to come back in this game.
fineokay is going to get jumped on, and here comes Baskin! 5 kills unanswered. 2 assists, 100% kill participation from Baskin. 13 minutes in, and the Ullr and friends are pushing up this tier 2 tower. Looks like they're going to get it.
No one here from CLG to try and defend. Aquarius actually used his teleport to make sure that CLG couldn't even split push in the mid lane. BaRRa realizes that he could easily get dove on this left tier 1, so may end up conceding it. Now, if he catches Homie backing out of the corner of his eye, could mean that he can get in there and try and defend it.
That's exactly what's happening. You saw the jungler back, and he shoved Snoopy here. Gonna dodge out a lot of the nonsense. The ultimate will be dodged out by Snoop. Here comes Aquarius. Snoopy thought he was alone, but the short lane Odin shows up. Snoopy on the run. Aquarius and BaRRaCCuDDa chasing him down. Still got the run, and he's gonna meet up with the members from Spacestation. There's the cage, and well, I think that one's it, folks. Snoopy's gonna fall down. No excitement there, just a hunter locked up.
Now Homie on the run, no blink
Oh,
for him.
come on. Oh, come on.
Though for Aquarius, Homie still trying to get out of there. Jeff uses the ultimate when probably it was unnecessary. Homie was dead to rights. No use of the purification beads, understanding that he's dead no matter what, so may as well keep that relic in tow for his next respawn.
This looks like game number 1, except the opposite. If you're just joining us, game number 1 was counter logic dominance. Game number 3, well, Spacestation's blasting off.
Still 4 levels in the mid lane for Hurriwind that he's got to try and catch up to Baskin. And now, as I was saying, it's kind of not so bad whenever it's one member that's way ahead of everyone else, but now it's Andy who's 3 levels up on Homie. Just like that. It's BaRRa who has a level lead on Snoopy. So that's how you kind of play it, right? Is you get one player very far ahead and then use their lead, you leverage that and let it spread across the entire map. And it's starting to happen now for Spacestation, who are after they get this Gold Fury, Tom, they're going to be up 10K.
Yeah, that might be the beginning of the end for Counter Logic Gaming. Gold Fury goes down.
I think the beginning of the end was wave number
peasy.
2. I think the beginning of the end was wave number 2.
Yeah. Homiefe. Oh, okay. Andy with a misplay there, but Baskin with anything but. Hurriwind sitting down for the 4th time today. Nice ultimate coming out from fineokay. Could be good here. Thorns activated, and the chase is on. Pretty much just fineokay, though. The rest of the squad trailing on the back line, trying to deal with whatever is going on from Aquarius.
Aquarius lurking. Doesn't have that cage or blink available, but still scary enough on the level 17 Odin. The CLG's got to respect it.
Ooh.
Nice dash by Snoopy just in time.
The damage from this Odin is still relevant. And we talk about characters like Odin where their damage falls off. Now, when you talk about damage from these solo laners falling off, that's assuming everything even, right?
Yeah.
When your Odin is 5 levels above you, He still has damage. He's still going to crunch Homiefe. He's still going to terrorize Hurriwind. He's still going to make Jigz think twice about walking towards the Odin.
Exactly, and that's why I love this Glad Shield for Aquarius. Gives him some extra CDR, sits at 30% after just 3 items, and still kind of contributes to that little bit of damage that he wants to do. Now he can use that for the next portion of the game, allow him to finish off his build, then he can sell it for some extra tankiness. By the time that's happening, his damage wouldn't have been relevant anyways, so it ends up working out.
Well, Baskin on the prowl. Sending the bat to the sky. 6-0-4. Still maintaining that 100% KP right there. Baskin, fantastic. Game number 2. Baskin got ahead because of Aquarius. Aquarius did a great job of lifting everybody up. Game number 1, or excuse me, game number 3. Andy definitely assisted. But I think I said this on my recap last week. Sometimes Baskin happens. Sometimes Baskin just balls out. And I think this is the game that you bring as Exhibit A when you say, I think Baskin is the best player in the world. Watch this.
He just dominates a team basically by himself, it feels like. As you mentioned, Andy, certainly a contributor in this one, but everyone else has just kind of been all along for the ride. And that's not a knock at anyone else, because they haven't needed to do anything with how well Baskin has played.
Blink forward and Jigz in trouble. JeffHindla's going to snatch that one. Meanwhile, mid lane Phoenix being aggressed on. Here comes the ring. 2 players caught in it. Baskin just dueling whoever walks up and has the gall to battle the Ullr. Here he comes, right into the throne room. 18:45 on the clock. This one, if this ends early, this will be the quickest game we've had. fineokay playing defense. Good job so far. Andinster is going to be able to take care of Homiefe. But CLGaming, they've got nothing. Defense is not good enough. fineokay, Snoopy, you're going to be able to find kills. But Andy fights back. Double kill for the jungler. Still there. That's game 3. CLG take it from Spacestation in 19 minutes.
Dominance from Spacestation. Insane. 19 minutes? Are you kidding me? Between the 1 and 2 seed right now. And that's what happens. But again, keep in mind, game 1, CLG embarrassed Spacestation, hit him with Spacestation only got 2 kills, but in 19 minutes,
the league average is 30 in North America.
A little ahead of the pace there.
11 minutes. Oh my goodness! Incredible performance. Production's gonna ask me. They just did. Who's MVP?
Baskin.
Yeah, I mean, just.
All right. I'm
type
serious
Baskin.
this time. If you vote for anyone but Baskin,
This guy.
you are actually trolling.
This guy.
And I'm going to go run to my laptop right now.
He will.
And if you aren't typing Baskin, if I see anyone else's name, I'm banning you. So make sure you vote for Baskin.
Are you really gonna ban him?
Yeah.
What if I type something different?
I'll try and ban you, but you're a mod too, so I can't.
You can't do that. Break it down, guys. It's Finch and it's Taco.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Ryan. Still not the worst loss of the day, though. Remember that poll that Tom lost to Ryan earlier today?
Oh, speaking of which, I do believe I have some unattended business I've got to take care of right now, guys. All right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Whew. All right. Oh, yeah.
All right, there you go. It was worth it. There you go.
It's okay.
We got the whole
It was a little anticlimactic there,
Maybe
but
a
you
bit.
know what? We did it, and that's going to be a quadra between all the casters here today.
We've all done
Challenge now left up in the air for Hindu Man and Holy. They have to do their
Calling 'em out.
own official Hui impersonations next time that they're in here.
We'll be seeing those shortly, who the MVP was. But Space Station up against CLG. For that last game, I only have a couple of notes really that I wrote down, as it is going to be Baskin, who is your MVP, as it certainly should have been. I wrote down Baskin is good, and then Hell into Serqet, and then also Odin. I wrote those 2 things down.
This is just one of those instances where I find it really hard to believe that Hurriwind actually wanted to play Hell here. This is, to me, I think was a team comp that CLG has run in a scrim in the past, or run in multiple scrims in the past even, and it worked out wonderfully for them. But, sometimes it just doesn't go according to plan, and sometimes your plan just gets completely incinerated by Baskin, as that early double kill kind of spelled the entire match out from the very start. It's just so difficult as a Hell, especially to try and recover in those sort of circumstances, because you already don't work with a very large health pool at the start of a match, and when you have such high pressure burst gods that can deal the damage early game, it just gets rougher and rougher. And sure enough, Baskin was just having an absolute field day here, and poor Hurriwind kind of just on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, that was a tough matchup if you're CLG, as Baskin kind of just enjoyed getting to get really far ahead. But let's go ahead and take a look at how those North American standings are going to be shaping up now that we're at the end of the day here in North America. For my money, Taco, is we do see that, or we're actually looking at the general standings. This is everywhere, considering the plus minus as well on the side based on your matches won, subtract away your matches lost. But I really consider that last set we just watched a best of one. Both teams kind of gifted each other a game, if you say so, and then that game 2 was the one that really sort of decided the set winner to me.
The game 2 definitely felt like more of an evenly matched brawl, because that was the one where you really couldn't tell who was going to walk away with it until that Gold Fury fight. And even then, still a lot of questions left to be unanswered, I guess. But in the end, Spacestation managed to find the victory for themselves in game 2, and they just carried that over into game 3.
It helped them out a good deal. But, ladies and gentlemen at home, it's only Wednesday, if you can believe it. I think Tom was a little confused about what day it was earlier, but it's only Wednesday. We got tons more games that are going to be coming you all's way. Tomorrow is going to be Europe, obviously, going to be starting a little bit earlier in the day, and we've got some strong matchups. Energy versus Obey, I'm excited to see. Then on Friday, it'll be the long day for North America. Get to see if Trifecta can confirm their top dog status up against Splice. LG versus Spacestation as well. Going to be pretty important to see if Spacestation can continue looking like the #1 seed.
Spacestation are able to close out that set. That'll be a great way for themselves to solidify that #1 slot, like you just said. And double headers as well for Splice and Luminosity there. So they've got to be on their toes for Friday.
Yeah, that LG, Luminosity in particular, seeing them play is so important, because I feel like out of all the teams, I'm still not quite sure where LG stands. You know, like we kind of know Splice at the bottom. We know we got CLG, Space Station, Trifecta up at the top. Are LG one of those top teams too, or are they more on the bottom? Friday should help solidify that.
Friday should help get everything figured out, but we do have the matches for tomorrow as well, some European action to look forward to, and can never really count out Energy for bringing forward some fun and interesting sets, so really looking forward to seeing what those guys have in store for us.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty to watch tomorrow. Going to be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern here at Mixer.com/SmiteGame if you want to check out that SPL action. But that's going to do it here for us with the SPL in North America, at least for Wednesday. Make sure that you stay tuned, though, out there, chat, and we'll keep bringing you the cool action. That's going to do it.